Usually these conferences are for you and not for the companies. When I assist to this kind of conferences, they are talking to me. How to do better techniques, design techniques, agile, but they usually don't talk to the companies. So today I will talk to you and to the companies and make that relation. So the other thing I wanted to say, and as I'm very proud to be a tester, and not only for the technical things I do every day, is because we have a profound effect in society, your work. I don't know if you are aware, every time, every project, everything we do, we change society. And for me, that's an honor. Okay, so first let's see. Well, do you know, or do you, I don't know if you had think about this question. What is the meaning of what we do, what we do each day? Sometimes I think we work too much, and we work, and I don't know if we accomplish anything or we are happy. And asking this question is very important. And by asking this question, I changed my company because I was very bored last year. It's a good story. And I was thinking about closing the company. Really, this was doing well, but I was bored. I was afraid. We were working and working and working, but we were the same as all the companies. And when I started 15 years ago, no, 20 years ago, I didn't mean to do that. I was not working for the money. I was working because I wanted to do something for the world and to change software development because we were suffering a lot with the defects in operations. But I don't know, through the years, that changed. And last year, it was like a breaking point. So I called my strategy consultant to work with me. So let's see what's strategy. That word is we use it a lot, but I don't know if you know what it means. Today, we will talk about it in the context of the company and how it affects you and how you have to work for it. Okay, how many work for the joy of working, for the pleasure of working? Okay, thank you. For the salary, it's okay, it's respect. Yeah, no, both, no. Pleasure, Buddhism, yes. Or because we are happy or we want to do. But we have to differentiate that of the company. Because the company is like another being, usually expects something else from you. But it doesn't expect you doing technical activities. The main expectation of the for you is not doing technical activities, discovering new ways to do things better, is not for the user experience context, not even for your motivations. It's true, because when I call somebody to work with me, to make me the honor to work with me, what I expect from them is that they do the best effort to accomplish the corporate strategy. Now, do you know the mission of your company? No. How many of you work in companies? Okay. Who are consultants? You work for a company also? Yes. So, okay. How many of you that work in companies know the mission of your company? Okay. Do you understand? Más o menos, okay? Do you know the components of that mission, how to accomplish that every day? Or is only a paper in the wall? Yeah, one. Okay. Only a paper, one? Or is, again, who understands perfectly the mission of the company and knows how to accomplish that? Good. And that's what company expects from us. But I'm doing testing. Yes, precisely. Okay? So, when we work at a company, we have to be aware that the company is making something marvelous for the world, is changing the world. We sometimes are not very aware that the place we work for is changing a culture or the environment or something. It's very, very emocionante. But we are aware of that. And yes, we sometimes, it's a very good company, it's a very great job, and we go and do the job. But we are not aware that they invited us to work, they're paying a salary also, but it's changing the world. And you are part of that. So if your purpose is not the same as the company or your values are not the same of the company, be aware. But because probably you're causing the wrong effect because of your personal motivation of a good job or a salary. Again, is aligned to your personal purpose. You are the company. The company is nothing, is not a mysterious element in the universe. The company is you, and the processes and the assets. And now we have to ask the question, how companies create and capture value. And the first thing, and this is from my strategy consultant, we have to earn the right for everything. And the ideas of the creators of the company so the company can exist from an idea, have to earn the right to become reality and persist in time. In the short term, the idea must be relevant, useful, and well implemented. So if you see entrepreneurs that they're successful, probably they do this. But in the mid and long term, there are two very important things that will have to be included. Relevant, useful, well implemented, and including the word operational effectiveness, and the most important thing, be different. Usually companies, when they have an idea, how many companies go before they copy the idea? Like the next day, 1,000. Okay? So the question here is, how can I make my company different in time? So I can survive as a company. The company can survive. And that's the question that I think and was the question that in last November was my only preoccupation, my only worry. How the company was unique. And probably your company has the same question. Probably some had resolved it, or probably some are unaware of that. But if you don't think in this, the chances that you disappear, because you will be commoditized. As a person also, I think this is relevant for us. So the answer is strategy, the word. Do you know Michael Porter? Who knows Michael Porter? It's very good reading. I recommend this little here article, a lecture called What is a Strategy? You have to read about companies and management. We work in companies, so we have to learn how they interact. So the definition for strategy is an integrated set of choices. Choices. The company, in a deliberate manner, chooses where it wants to compete, how it wants to be configured, but it's a deliberate choice. And when you choose, what is the other automatic thing you do? You give up things. Yes, when you marry, you choose. hopefully. Okay. And define how to create capture value in more industries to be relevant and different. And how you do that? You define some certain things and you keep, you don't move from those choices. So we will explain, there are more elements, but these are the basics to be explained. I will give an example of to care. So I was very bored. The company's mission didn't fill my heart. So I rethink it with my team. What was our difference? And the difference was the word enable. Enable the customer's advantage. I do not do testing. I really, projects from me are, okay, it's good. But we enable the advantage of my client. And that gives a very different perspective of testing. Okay? And the second thing we wanted to do is create direct welfare to the society. Okay? We had to make some selection choices. What markets? How would our relations be? And it's what deliberate design to do what we had to do. We defined which attributes we wanted us to express through our services. So when people thought about care, they will thought about these attributes. But how? Not by propaganda. You'll see how in the next minutes. And we measured the objectives. We put some numbers for it, which probability we wanted, how the brand, which is attributes, should be seen, and the desired effect in the world. So to structure a strategy into reality, we have to configure a company. A manpower company probably will be very different from the structure of a knowledge company, okay? So you have to be aware that the strategy, usually what happens is that we create a theoretical model that configures the service. It's not, I know tomorrow I am going to be a knowledge company. No. We have to design the process, get the profiles of the people, the leadership model, the knowledge model, and everything we need to reflect what the strategy and the attributes wants to be. So the outputs will be, if we do it well, the first thing is, enable the advantage of our clients so they can grow. And the second is that we have deliberate stakeholders in society who want to help something with what we do, the people, what we do, the families, the employees, schools. So we have deliberate statements for society. And if we do it right, what happens is that we create a brand. From the purpose to the brand. We are here. So, do you, and it is another question, do you understand the relation, for example, between the mission and the processes? Do you believe in processes, or they are boring things? Be careful. If your company is well defined in a theoretical manner, and you say the process, I won't keep the steps. Probably you are doing something wrong for the brand. Or these processes are very boring, or they are not useful. Beware. Probably they are there because they are configured to express the brand. So ask first if you see something wrong. Why? And it's not the process, it's the relationship between assets, process, people. And you are there. So I have a very low investment in marketing because the service expresses the brand. I don't have to do, to care is beautiful, to care, no. To care is what we do every day. And it expresses by itself the brand. Obviously, effects in the world and the profitability. as a consequence. We are okay until that. So if you don't like processes and everything, beware, because the companies are configured in a certain way to express the strategy. What has happened to now in reality, and when I go to my clients, is very horrible, because can you tell me because we enable the advantage. I have to know this strategy for my clients. So I go to a client and say, do you know your strategy? And they look at me like this. My IT clients, okay? So I discovered that there was no strategy at all, that they were poorly defined, that the processes were not aligned to the strategy, and that there were different problems in the definition of the companies, processes, people, etc. But the most important, and what happened to me, is that I have, as Jose told you, approximately 450 people working with me. And what I discovered last year is that everybody had their own conception of the company. So it was very difficult to move the people to work with me, do what we wanted, because each person had a vague idea of what the company was. No, Chuker is beautiful, yes, but they don't even know really what Chuker meant to do, or why the processes were meant as they were. I don't know if this is happening to you. Probably not. Go and ask one of your colleagues, and do you know what we are doing here? Do you know the strategy, where we are going? Or what we understand of the company that we are working in wants to do with the world? And you will be surprised. And probably that happens in the projects also. So, we talk a lot of architecture, tools, agile, very, very interesting things, how to develop teams, etc., methodologies, user experience, beautiful. If you see the Agile testing days, it's all about something that is called operational effectiveness. The problem with that is for a company, operational effectiveness, is not sufficient to mark the long-term survival. Because the techniques, methods, and tools are so good, and the combination are becoming so good, that the difference will become marginal. So the important thing is the strategy. Strategy plus operational effectiveness. But please don't talk only about operational effectiveness. Talk about your company's strategy and what we want to do with our time to accomplish that. So tactical-driven IT is a proposal, an idea, simply. And first, I want to make the definition of a tactic. It's a careful action plan to achieve a specific end. So what the companies do is propose, we have a reality and we have the company, the theoretical company. So what we want to do is create tactics, very, very general plan tactics, where we want to do is to diminish the gap between reality and the theoretical company, or what we want to accomplish. That is what we call tactics. So what we are saying is, please align the IT asset and processes. The effects we always affect other processes. I will talk for this a little bit later. The initiatives that accomplish the tactics that probably accomplish the strategy. That's why Jose was asking, do you know how your project, how your time is invested to accomplish the company's strategy? Because if we do not do this, we will have a problem. The company will have a problem, or will waste money. So for us, tactical-driven IT is the way how we align the IT resources, asset, process, people, and projects to support and accomplish the tactics that are designed to diminish the gaps between the goals of corporate and competitive strategy and the reality. We have, this is a proposal also, is what I'm seeing, especially in Colombia, I don't know here, is that the IT departments have become like the operators of the business. So do these applications, change these channels, but it's like a manpower thing. I don't know if it's happening to you. And that's very sad. It probably shows that your IT department is disaligned with the strategy of the company. We should ask the company, and we should align ourselves. The company won't align us. People probably it won't be aware to do that. We have that responsibility. But the second stage I want to propose is to align. And the third one, that for me is the most beautiful thing we could do, is that when we are mature and we are aligned to the strategy and we are supporting this strategy, we can propose new businesses, for example. And for us, this will be the perfect stage of IT. Aligned with the strategy, a strong part of the company, giving new ideas for the future of that organization. The organization you are working for. The organization that's paying your salary and that has a lot of expectations with you. So, I will make you a little example. Okay? Choices, strategy. Do you know the tactics of your company? Now, you know them? Are you aware? Okay. So probably your project is part of an initiative, probably a part of a tactic. And what happens here is that many things changes, not only software. We are doing software. No, everything, a lot of things are changes. And one of the other problems we see is that we are not aware that, for example, our software is part of a process. And that what we do probably would change something in the company. How we measure that? Do we measure that? We are only talking about software. I'm asking to put your head up and see how this interact, how software interacts with the other. Sorry, don't worry. With the other process, assets, and knowledge and people. I'm sorry. I think I jumped too much. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. So I want to give you an example. This is a normal requirements. I will show you this is an example of a bank in Colombia. And this was the way we were last year. Usually what the client needed was, we want an application for a transaction useful for countryside people. Okay. So our normal inputs were requirements, environments, databases, user experience, risk constraint, method, tools, personal knowledge, everything. But this is not enough. Look this same petition in this context. This bank, look at this bank. This bank wants to turn banking to a more humane, their business a more humane banking. It's a very different idea. A humane bank? Yes, it's the biggest bank in Colombia. He doesn't want charity, but he wants, as a company, to be very, very careful with people and to be a strategic partner for the clients and help the clients to support. Look, this petition in this context. It's very different. Our conversation will change dramatically as testers. It's not the requirement. It's the context, and the context is the strategy. Because we are working for the bank. So what questions are you asking as testers? So I'm making a new definition for testing. I will change it a little bit. I like to do that. I'm sorry. Yes. I cannot walk. I'm sorry. Okay. So, it's a concurrent process that supporting diminishes the risk by detecting the threats and possible diminishing of product value. In these aspects, failure and faults align to the corporate strategy. Usefulness, do what it intends to do, and the cost is less than a bit. It's the other way around, sorry. And generate information for persons in charge of the project, application, development process, business to take decisions during the project and or take action of continuous improvement. And for me, it's a very different view of testing. So again, what questions are we asking? Do our heart is in that project? And do our heart is thinking about the strategy and how the company that we work for is changing the world? So I have some conclusions for the company. Make choices that make the company relevant and differentiated. Strategy. Define and pursue companies' alignments of structure, capabilities, metrics, and people to the choices in the strategy. Pursue operational effectiveness. Strategic discipline, give up other choices. Identify tactics for reducing gaps between what the company wishes and reality. For IT departments, so I'm talking to everybody. Understand carefully the company's strategy. Configure structure, capabilities, metrics, and people aligned to the company's strategy. Tactical discipline. Pursue operational effectiveness. For teams, make sure the team understands the corporate strategy. Make sure you are and your team are aligned and aware towards making reality the same goal. Team, understand your final user for each report. Change the operational effectiveness conversation to include strategy. Yes, we like Agile. Yes, we like to be happier, but think about the strategy and what the company wants to accomplish. And for you, check your purpose. It's very important to be self-aware of what you want to do. Prepare yourself. Here you are preparing yourself, but I like that preparation that to do what we really are meant to do. Know the company you work for, even if it's yours. Remember, you do not work for the market per se. You work for a company that pursues to cause a deliberate effect in the world. A strategy is what you do every day. That's why Jose was telling me that's very crazy that there are not strategic projects in the company. Protect the job to be done, attributes and process. In every project, every project must support the initiative and the tactic. Understand how the IT department you work, the strategy of that department supports the corporate strategy. Change the conversation again, and hopefully you will align your purpose to the company purpose, and together change the world. The meaning of what we do. So that's tactical-driven IT.
Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.